Hello, 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 everyone. Coming in, joining. Give this video a thumbs up. If you guys are just coming in, I'm just gonna let a few more people come in before we get started. But obviously, from the title of the video, we're gonna be talking about self sabotage, and that's because I've dealt with this myself. I struggle with this myself, and I think it will be important for some people to listen and for us to discuss it. And even if you're cooking and listening, I decided to use StreamYard this time because I don't know. I wanted to be able to like showcase y'all's comments and stuff. And the other program that I use, it's a lot. It's a lot of it's more technical, and with that way, I'd rather just use my other camera, and then it's a whole different setup, and it's just too much. So I'm a little late with the hopping in here. And I don't know why, because the baby went to bed at like 8:30. So I should have been here at 9ish. I should have been here a little earlier, but I'm here now. So we're just gonna be sitting here having a conversation and talking about why we self-sabotage and how we can stop it. A lot of people felt like they enjoyed the last live where I talked about mental health and stuff like that. And this is kind of like the same thing, but a little differently. So I'm just waiting for a couple people to hop in so that we can discuss and talk. Hello, hello, Kiva. Welcome. She's cooking and listening in. Um, if you guys are coming in, give it a like. Give this a like. And if you're new here, subscribe. Join the new channel because the new channel is a little something different than my main channel. My main channel, I'm trying to make that more of like a family friendly type of channel. And I'm going to bring over here all the drama and the chaos. That I think that's what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm going to keep it more transparent and family friendly, I guess, but like still going to be like, the raw, real and stuff. But at the same time, over here, we're just going to get dirty. We're going to get real with it. So, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes and let people hop in, and then we're gonna get started because the whole point of this is to talk about what we're gonna talk about. So I did a little research. I have my notes. So if you guys see me looking over to the side, it's because I got my notes. And so yeah. So why do people self-sabotage? That is the number one question that a lot of people ask, and it's not something that we really think about when we're already in it. We usually just think about like, why is something going on, like why is it that relationships never work out, why is it that things that we want out of life is never happening for us. And that's because we are always self-sabotaging ourselves, or we're basically, like other people might say, like we're blocking our blessings in that sense because we're consciously or even unconsciously committing, acting like like things are never going to work out. Like we always, like, say if you want to get into a relationship and you're in your back of your mind, whether if you're consciously thinking it or not, you just automatically assume the relationship's going to fail. And there's multiple ways of us doing this, because I know for me, I was sabotaging myself when it came to our home. I was afraid that it wasn't going to be long term. We were going to be struggling for a while, and so like I never decorated the house. I never did what I wanted to the house because I was afraid, and I was basically self-sabotaging myself, thinking that this was not it. We're not going to be here. We're going to get kicked out, or we're going to have to move somewhere else because of certain situations like finances or whatever the case may be. I just always had it in the back of my mind that like we're never, like, it's not going to be stable. And so like consciously and unconsciously, people tend to self-sabotage. It may not even be aware of it, because I know I was aware of it, but at the same time I wasn't like realizing the energy and the vibes that I was projecting out, because it was also like, it was obvious. My house was cluttered, my house was a hot mess, like some people say. And it is what it is. So there's also the situation when it comes to eating as well. Like, we self-sabotage ourselves when it comes to making a good effort on what we're eating. And I'm doing that right now. I ain't going front. I'm doing that right now. But yesterday I had like very high anxiety, and instead of eating my emotions, which is what I usually gravitate towards, is eating my emotions, I decided to go to the gym, and I went on the stair steps for 30 minutes, and then I ran for 30 minutes. And after I was done, I felt really good about myself. Like that was something that I wanted to do to get out of that mindset, out of that negative energy, you know? And it was different for me because usually I'd be like, oh, I send one of the kids to the store to get me some food, or I'll order me some food. But where it stems from is usually like a difficult childhood. Like for me, my life growing up, it was hard for me to establish a secure or a stability type of a life. Like it wasn't stable and it wasn't secure when I was a kid growing up. So I avoid attachments. And even Leon can tell you guys that like I used to push him away a lot when it came to our like in the beginning of our relationship, because I was afraid of, attaching to him because it felt like it was too good to be true. Like he was a good man, he was working, he was busting his ass to make sure that we were taken care of. Um we were like open and honest with each other when it came to communication and everything. So, it was something that I know that had to do with my environment, my childhood, because, I felt abandoned and neglected as a child. So it was hard for me to form a bond or have that relationship type of a thing with him. And it was different, it wasn't I don't know, I don't want to say it was like a fear of commitment, but in a way it was, because at that time I didn't believe in marriage. And that's because I came out of an abusive relationship and I had trouble coping with the trauma that I experienced in that relationship. So it was hard for me to open up and take down those walls. But one of the things that we did do to help like learn from each other and to build like the foundation or the understanding of our relationship was to write letters. And so, yesterday I talked to my therapist and she was like, you need to go back to doing that. You need to go back to writing letters, get back to the basics. Because, it may seem like, things are not going good in your relationship, because I made a video all about this on my other channel. If you haven't seen it, you definitely need to go over there and watch it. But I had a fear of like, things were different with us or things were going bad with us. And I know with Leon, he probably felt the same way. And it's not just about like money, it's about everything. Like our goals are different, our mindset is different, our ambitions and is different. How we want to parent is different. Like everything about who we were from when we first got in a relationship is completely different than how it is now. So, and another thing that I suffered or I struggled with was low self esteem. I really um, had low self esteem, especially within the last couple of years, because of my miscarriage and because of the amount of weight that I gained with my last pregnancy, as well as the fact that I wasn't as active because I was in college. I was basically, what did they say? Like the college vibe was where like you gain all that weight. Well, that was pretty much me. Like I gained all this weight and I was self conscious and I had a lot of low self esteem about myself when it came to that, because I know if you watch my other channel, you guys always saw me in a sweatshirt and sweatpants. That was basically my outfit, my hair in a bun. Actually brushed it back and put it in a bun instead of just throwing it in a bun. And I actually did something to my hair for once. I even like smoothed the baby hairs down. So yeah, and like low self-esteem is another way of self-sabotaging yourself, because you always have this negative beliefs about yourself, and then you always think that you're never going to hit that success goal, like that goal that you want, and it always becomes uncomfortable for you. And then there's also the I don't even know how to pronounce this, cognitive this I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. But it's more of like a mental discomfort for yourself. You're basically dealing with a conflict of the ideas at the same time. So it's like two different ideas. One is positive, one is negative, and it's conflicting each other because um your thoughts are thinking two different things, and your actions and what you're saying out loud does not correlate with what's going on in your brain. So like, in my situation, I was afraid of getting married because I grew up in a dysfunctional home. Whereas at the same time, I wanted the relationship, or I wanted marriage, because I wanted it to be something that was official, like, this is my husband. I want him to be my husband. So for like the 3 years of our relationship in the beginning, like Leon said, like, he proposed to me, but we never got married. And so, in the back of my mind, I was just like, am I not good enough? Like, am I not doing what I'm supposed to be doing to be his wife? Or like, what's going on? Only to realize, like, from his point of view, was that he wanted to give us time to get to know each other. Like, we didn't live together, so when we finally did live together, it gave us time to like get to know each other's pet peeves and our like, I don't know what, like pet peeves, and like the things that we like and the things that we don't like. Like, me and Leon are polar opposites. He has OCD, and I just learned that I have hoarding OCD. Who would have knew? So me and him are completely opposite. So, it's like a negative beliefs about and actions, and you're consistent with it. And I know for me, it was hard for me to accept the fact that, like, we're not the same person, but at the same time, there was that unconditional love, and we wanted to be together. Like, we always said, like, if we're gonna get married, there's no such thing as a divorce. And so, like, and in a common way that we usually self-sabotage is procrastination. That was me. I was doing college when I was in college and get my associate's degree. I will always procrastinate. I always was the type to wait until the last minute to get things done for school, and I ended up burning myself out because I was staying up, like, I was going days without sleeping, basically, just to catch up with the work that I, had to get done. And so, I was definitely procrastinating. I ain't going front. Let me adjust myself real quick, but so you guys can um see me better. So another thing is that I'm a perfectionist. Like, I'm the type of person, like, if I write notes, it has to be perfect. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all now, like, I'm writing notes right now, and I rip them out because I want to rewrite it, because I'm such a perfectionist that, like, I need to rewrite it so that way it's, for me, like, I can like visually see it the way I want to see it, even though it may not be exactly what it needs to be. Like, it's not that serious. It's not that serious that my notes is a mess. But for me, it's just like, I like having my notes look nice and pristine and look a certain way. So I'm bad when it comes to writing notes. I'm the type of person that will just constantly write and then rip it out and then write it again and rip it out. So it's hard. Hey, Black Stay at Home Mom Show. Welcome, welcome. Give this video a like, and um, enjoy it and like participate in the conversation. And so another way is that people like to self medicate, which is, I'm not gonna lie, I did. I was self medicating in my early 20s with alcohol. Like, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was going out drinking, and for no reason, like, because I wasn't satisfied with my life. I was trying to catch up with where I left off because I had my kids young. I started having kids at 18, and then I had Justice, I believe, at like 23 or 22. And mind you, like, Andrea and Justice are like Irish twins. They're 10 months apart. So for me, between the time of after having Justice until I got pregnant with Journey, I was going out every single day. And not to mention, I was smoking weed. I was drinking all the time. So yeah, I was pretty much like self-medicating. I ain't going front. And some people do self harm themselves when it comes to self-medication, but for me that wasn't my thing. But that was my thing when I was a teenager. I used to cut myself a lot when I was a teenager. So, and then I was on drugs and alcohol even then. And even knowing that I had bipolar, I still did it anyways. So Now, as far as like how to stop it, like, come on now. We need to stop the self-sabotaging. We need to stop doing that to ourselves. And it's not just something that's going to happen overnight. It needs to be something that needs to be something that you constantly work on every single day. And I'm still working on it. I ain't going front because, like I said earlier, my anxiety will have me wanting to eat. Like I want to lose the weight, but at the same time I'm eating all the time. Like I'm eating what I want to eat. I'm not working out. I'm not, doing what I'm supposed to be doing to lose the weight that I want to lose weight. So, and I'm actually proud of myself yesterday for going to the gym and spending an hour there instead of, allowing my anxiety to get me to the where I'm just shoving my face with a whole bunch of food when that's not what I really want. Ooh, and it really comes down to like really finding the root of the cause of why we self sabotage. And I think it has to do with like the patterns of our life. Like you have to look back at the life that we have. Like, have you ever really made a good effort on what we wanted? And for me, it wasn't like that, because I was really passionate about blogging back then. And I kept feeling like, I wasn't good enough. Like, there's that imposter syndrome where you feel like even though you have the degrees, you have the experience, you have the knowledge and all that, and you feel like you're not good enough or you're not worthy enough of, you know, succeeding in it. And that's how I felt even all the way up until now. Like now I don't feel that way anymore. I used to, but I don't feel that way anymore about myself. Like now I'm on that I'm on that road to where it's like I am that ish and I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm talking about. So therefore, I'm going to charge what I need to charge. And you're going to pay me for what I'm worth because I know my worth now. Um, but it really does stem from our childhood. We sometimes it's our parents, sometimes it's other things that going on, like we getting bullied, being disappointed, or being feeling like you were abandoned or neglected, like I was. And it's hard, like for me, I deal with PTSD, and I notice now because I'm aware that certain things triggers me and it brings me back to where I was before. And I'm trying to be a different person. I'm trying to be a better parent. So instead of me yelling and lashing out and ignoring or dismissing a lot of things, now I'm more aware. Like today, the kids came in and they wanted to talk to me about certain things. I stopped what I was doing and I gave them 100% my undivided attention. Before, I would just ignore them. I would just like block them out and ignore what they were talking about and not realize what they were saying. And I went and peeped certain things. Like earlier today, Journey's not supposed to be on any devices. And I saw from the corner of my eye that he was trying to sneak down the steps around the corner to go with the laptop and the phone. And I was like, bring that back, bring it on back. I saw that. So now it's like a little different when it comes to self sabotaging. And even now, like I have a huge thing coming up for multiple things. Like I have a lot of things that I'm doing with other people. I have a lot of things going on with the media. And so like instead of me self-sabotaging myself and hiding and trying not to, put myself out there, now I'm stopping it. I'm now going for it. Like now I have people in my corner who are like, go girl, go, 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 do it, do it, do it. And and it's good to have people around you that are going to be supportive and root for you, but it also boils down to you rooting for yourself. And it can be hard, like it's hard to like be like in your mind and saying you can do this, you got this, you can do that. um and for me, it took to getting seeking help. I had to go to therapy and seek help because there was no other way for me to be able to get out of that mindset. And I had to, do the therapy, and then for my therapist to be like, you need to see a psychiatrist, like something's not right. And you need to see him and get evaluated and see if maybe medication might be an option for you. And it just so happened that it was, and it was necessary, and I'm glad I did because it's making things a lot easier, and things are a lot better now for me. And it's hard to say, like like how do we stop doing it? And usually what it is that we solely only focus on the big picture instead of focusing on the little action plans that we need to focus on in order to get to the bigger picture. And that's my problem. Like, I'm even dealing with that now. Like, I see the big picture and I want it now. Like, I just want it now. I don't want to wait. I'm impatient. I want it to happen now. I want everything to be done perfectly. And I'm starting to learn now that, like, I need to slow down and relax and enjoy the process, enjoy the moment, be present, and focus on what's going on now and how I'm going to get to A to B instead of trying to hurry up and rush it. Because I noticed that when I rush things, it never goes the way that I want it to go. It ends up going the wrong way. Um, and it's all about making small changes. And for me, I realized that, like, it's about the habits that I have. My habits are horrible, and it was horrible, but now I'm slowly learning how to have better habits, as well as making routines. Like, at first, I was just all over the place, and even with my content, like on my other channel, all over the place. I don't even have a niche. Like, I'm trying, like, I didn't even have like a specific topic that my channel was about. Even though I preach this to my clients all the time, that you need to niche down, you need to find what works for you and to make that your only content. I wasn't doing that for myself. I was all over the place, like talking about one thing and talking about another thing, and it just didn't work out. And now I'm starting to see that I need to do it for myself. Instead of preaching it, I need to practice it. And so that's why I made this new channel, so that way I can stop trying to make everything like the big picture, everything all whole into one, when in reality that's not real. Life is not like that. And I did it even in the past with blogs. Like, I had a blog for beauty and makeup, I had a blog for spirituality, and a blog for living healthy and all that. And I try to blend it all into one because I had this big picture in my mind, not realizing that I was just hindering my growth and I was sabotaging myself because I didn't have a focus on one thing. And I'm even doing it now. And I'm reading this book, and it's like, just focus on one thing. Just focus on one thing at a time. Don't rush it. Don't push so hard to make it happen. And don't, like, what's the word? Don't, like, try to make it what it is that you want, because at the end of the day, it's not really about what you want. What I want is about what other people need, because I want to be a service to other people. I don't want to just do what I'm doing and not inspire other people or not help other people do better and be better. And I also want other people to be inspired to inspire others, instead of just, me inspiring them. Like, I want them to inspire other people as well, which is my new brand is about. I'm bringing it out there. I already spoken it into existence. It's mine. And that's what I really want for other people. But it's hard to stop thinking in that mindset, and it takes a while for you to make small improvements. And make sure you're writing it down. Like, make sure you write down your goals and write down the improvements that you're making. Make notes and say, I did this day, and I'm accomplishing this and this. Give yourself like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, put it, even if it's a note, like a post it, and say, this is what I did, and date it, and tell yourself, like, I accomplished this and I made it happen. So, oh, excuse me. So, like, I can do it. Like, I can do this. And even a small goal, like, it doesn't have to be a huge goal. It could be something small that you want to accomplish to help you from self sabotaging yourself. And it's hard because sometimes when you want to be excellent, or you want to achieve or accomplish something, it's hard not to think like a perfectionist, like I am, because I try to be. Necessarily, it's like, I'm not trying to be a perfectionist when it comes to my home. It's more so of being a perfectionist when it comes to like my writing and my videos and um, my social media posts and working with my clients. Like, that's where I'm trying to be a perfectionist at. But it takes work, y'all. It takes a lot of work to stop it. Um, Good evening, Shauna Plays. Good evening. Welcome, welcome. Sometimes, I have to ask myself some questions. Sometimes it's hard for me to not ask like to ask questions about myself. But it helps me self-reflect. It helps me get out of my head and not focus on the bad things. Okay. Leon's on live, so if my internet is acting up, it's because of him. He's on live playing video games. Yeah, my bars went down since and then you paused it, and then my bars went back up. And I told him that earlier. I was like, "You watching something live?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, Sir, you're messing it up for me." So the sometimes I ask myself some questions, and these are the questions that you can ask yourself. Is your behavior aligning with your goals? And for a while, it wasn't. I ain't going front. It was not aligning with my goals. My goals and my behavior and my habits were not in alignment with my goals. My habits and my behaviors and what I was doing was the complete opposite of what my goals were. And really honestly it has to boil down to my bipolar disorder because it was hard for my brain to function. It was hard for me to actually like switch a click, switch it and make it happen. And it was I'm not going to lie and say that it was something I could just change. No, I needed to seek help and get it done that way. um and if it's not aligning with what you're doing, then you have to stop taking actions to make your dreams come true. Like you literally have to stop and focus on one small thing, one small little goal that will get you to what will make your dream come true. And for me, I had to stop blaming myself, meaning I had to stop blaming myself. I had to stop having guilt or self guilt. I had to stop worrying about so much. And the number one thing about how to do that is letting go. And when I say letting go is the hardest thing ever, it's hard, especially when it comes to kids and how you want to have your house look, or when it comes to certain situations. Sometimes you just have to let things go and let life flow the way it's supposed to flow. Another question that you can ask yourself is do you feel uneasy or discomfort when you progress in life? And for me, that was a yes. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I always had like anxiety, or I felt uncomfortable, or I felt like um this was wrong. Like I shouldn't be doing this because, it's it's not real. It's not what I like, it's not happening. I can't believe this is happening. So therefore, I need to stop what I'm doing and focus on something else. Like this is not what's working for me. And sometimes the discomfort can be based on what other people have told me to limit my beliefs or limit what I wanted to do because of it wasn't what they wanted. And I actually had this happen to me before where, I've told somebody what I wanted to do with my life and what I wanted to accomplish. And they actually was like, that's stupid. Nobody's going to do that nobody's into that. Nobody's going to buy it from you if you choose to do that. And that really did hinder me, you know, for a long time, to the point where even now, like, that's not even my goal in mind, even though I would love to one day. Make that happen. And I'll tell you, even if I tell y'all now, but I'm going to keep it to myself, because if it does happen, it's gonna be bomb. But sometimes it's important to not tell people everything, and that's something I'm learning even with my personal channel, like my other channel. It's important to not tell people everything, especially when you have something big or a big goal. Sometimes it's important not to tell people what's going on, because they will spurts out their own negative energy onto you, and they will block your best blessings too, and they will sabotage your shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will try and find a way to knock you down because you're in a situation that you can do better and you can become something bigger and better. And it's hard, it's stupid, but it happens. Um but at the same time, if you know who the person is, cut them off. Cut them off quick and easy, because if somebody's telling you that your dream is not accomplishable, or you can't achieve it, or it's stupid, or it's foolish, or they don't believe, they feel like that you're going to fail at it, cut them off immediately. Do not allow that person back in your life. Just ignore them. Don't even have them in your space, in your energy, because at the end of the day, I feel like if that's who they are towards you, they're just going to continue to put you in that mindset, and you're going to constantly continuously believe that you're never going to accomplish or be able to succeed in life at all. And and it's funny because like I usually have to ask myself, like, why do I feel uncomfortable? Like, why is this making me feel like this? What is the lesson behind this? What do I need to learn? And sometimes, it ultimately boils down to me letting go of the fear of success, fear of, and then when I say fear of success, I literally mean like, why am I afraid of being successful? Like, that was like one of the questions I had to ask myself, like, why am I scared to succeed? What could go wrong or right if I succeed at what I want to accomplish? And for me, when I decided to get on medication for my bipolar, I wasn't afraid of the medication itself. I was afraid of who I would be able to become, and who I could and what I could achieve, because I knew once I was going to get my mental health right, and I was going to focus on the things that I was able to focus on to get to the next level. I was scared. Like, I was legit scared of how big it was going to become. And I think really deep down it was just like I was scared that it was going to happen too fast, and I wasn't going to be able to handle it. Like, it's like somebody that goes viral on TikTok, or viral on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, and it's like instant success, and some people don't know how to handle that. I know there was a YouTuber where she did something bad, and it necessarily wasn't bad to me, but it was so bad. Like, she got scared and she shut down. She down her channel, she shut down her Instagram, she shut down her business. And she did an interview with a in the media with a couple people, and she just shut down. And instead of using that opportunity to teach other people how not to do the things that she did, she shut down. And I feel like that was her way of being in fear of success, because she wasn't able to take a lemon and make it into lemonade type of situation. And I'm not going to call out the YouTuber, because I still love her. I don't care what mistakes she made. I still love her. I still watch her channel, and I still support her regardless of what everybody else thinks about her. And so, like, think about what it is that really makes you uncomfortable when it comes to succeeding, because a lot of us, we tend to self-sabotage ourselves because we have a fear of success. And I feel like it would change a lot if you figure out the deep core issue of why you're afraid of succeeding in life. And then there's also another question that you can ask yourself is like, are you concerned with achieving more than you thought possibly? And that was another yes for me. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but like, I really was worried about achieving more than I thought. And now my mindset is different. Like, now I'm like, I want that six-figure lifestyle. I want that eight-figure lifestyle. I'm not cheap. I mean, I say I'm frugal, but now I don't even say that anymore, because that's a negative mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of saying you're cheap or frugal, you know, and it's funny because I look back on a vlog when I was saying it, and I'm like, why am I saying this when that's not really how I want to live? Like, I don't want to live like that. I want to be able to go buy something or buy whatever I want and still have money in my pocket. I want to be like, what's the one basketball player? Shaq, I think it is. He goes to Walmart, and if he sees somebody, he'd be like, oh, I'm buying your shit. I'm buying your whole bill. If you want something else, go get it. Like, that's where I'm trying to be at. That's where I want to be at. So now I'm learning how to stop saying I'm cheap or I'm frugal. Now I'm starting to like say that I'm abundant. I have a lot of money. I'm rich. I'm successful. Like, it takes a lot for us to even think like that because, we're so used to saying certain things over and over again. And that's because it comes from our childhood, because that's what we heard or that's what we seen. And for me, I'm just like, I'm not frugal anymore. I'm not cheap because I'm willing to spend the money for the things that I want, and I'm always going to have the money in my account. And that's something that I keep telling myself over and over again. Like, I'm not afraid to be successful anymore. I'm not afraid to achieve more than I thought I was going to achieve, because I'm going to get it and it's already mine. And that's what I keep telling myself. It's mine. It's already there. The universe is just waiting for me to be open and accepting it. And so it's just, I don't know. I just feel like, why not tell yourself that? And you should continue to tell yourself that. Like, keep telling everybody, like, even if you speak it out loud to yourself, say it to other people too, so that even if they secretly are hoping for your downfall, say it to them so that they can continue to hate and then keep it moving. Another question is, if you do better or achieve more, do you believe success is more than you deserve? Like, do you really think you deserve it? Because that was something that I was feeling too. Like, do you really think you deserve the success? Do you really think you deserve the abundant life that you really want? And at some point, I didn't feel like I deserved it. I didn't feel like I was meant for that because of our situation and because of our circumstances of, being low income and being on welfare and stuff. And now I've shifted that thought process and that mindset to where it's like, uh I'm getting off of welfare. I'm getting off of public assistance. I'm going to make the money. The money is mine. So it's like, you have to believe in yourself that you deserve what it is that you want to achieve and the life that you want. And it's hard, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. I'm telling y'all, like, we've been in this house for 3 years, and I'm now finally at that point in my life where I'm like, I'm gonna achieve it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna come some way or some form. It's gonna happen. And it's crazy because ever since I made that shift in my mindset, things just been happening back to back for me. And all I can say is that I'm proud of myself, because if I would have never made the initial choice to go seek help and to go to therapy and all that, I probably would have never got to this point in my mindset. It probably would have been too hard for me. And the reason why I say that is because the best way to treat self sabotaging is therapy. Like, that is the best way to deal with it. And that's why I talk about therapy and mental health a lot, because people don't realize that how much it can help you. Hey, Vanessa, welcome. And a lot of people don't really like realize that therapy can be a way to help you get out of the self-sabotaging mindset. And it can also help you with dealing with your childhood trauma, if that's what the core issue is. Or if you had a dysfunctional lifestyle when you were growing up. I know I did in my life. I have a dysfunctional family, period. And even now, like, I feel like our family is still dysfunctional because we're not like, we're just now getting to that point where we're slowly finding the core issues to what we're dealing with. And it could be a variety of different things, binge eating, which is one of them. Me, I binge eat a lot. Angry outbursts, which is what I was doing to the kids. I was like, snappy and, getting frustrated with them and stuff. And now that I'm doing therapy, it's making it a lot easier for me to not be so aggressive, or not to binge eat, or, to be so snappy and irritable. And I don't even have the mood swings because, like, Leon even told me at one point, he's like, what, like, 1 minute you're nice and you're calm, and the next minute you're like going to fuck off. And I never realized that until he said it. And then I look back and self-reflect, and I'm like, holy shit, I was like that. Okay, no, we need we can't be doing that no more. Not anymore over here. So, um, I'm pretty much done yapping away. But if you guys have any questions, go ahead. Feel free to ask. If you have any questions or if you have any opinions or thoughts about it. But yeah, just know that it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to instantly stop self sabotaging yourself. It's going to be something that happens slowly. It's going to be a slow progress. And what it really boils down to is that, you have to unlearn what you were taught to in order to relearn. And that's something that I'm doing now. excuse me, with my kids, I'm unlearning a lot of things that I was taught or that I feared or that I had in my mind. And I'm starting to relearn it, a lot of different things like how to communicate, how to respect my kids if I'm asking for respect in return from my kids. Um, and also like being more open and honest with them as well as allowing them to be open and honest with me, because before I would just be like, I don't care, and even now, like, right, like I want to say like yesterday, was it yesterday, it was either yesterday or today, where Akina was telling me something about her friends, and I was like, I know at one point you said I didn't care about your friends or anything, but like now I'm willing to listen and respect you in that way, so that way, I can get that respect back. I think I need therapy as well. I can really, and you know what? Honestly, like everybody can use therapy. Like it doesn't matter if you have issues or not. It's good to be able to go to somebody and talk about the shit that you want to talk about. It's like having a friend that's not a friend or a family member and they're unbiased. So even if you feel like you have need therapy or you don't feel like you need therapy, I feel like everybody can use it. And you'd be surprised that a lot of celebrities and a lot of rich people have therapists, and they use therapists as a way to cope and deal with all the shit that's going on, especially when there's a lot of changes going on in your life. There's a lot of things that are happening that's out of your control, and you can't, and you're feeling uneased because you can't control the situation. Um, so yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to go to therapy. Like we all can talk to somebody. We all can use somebody to talk to and have something to deal with, like just talk and talk about whatever it is that's going on, and they'll listen and they'll be unbiased and they will offer you some suggestions or some coping skills to help you get through it. So yeah, like, girl, go for it. And it's good that if you think you need it, it's good that you start looking for a therapist. And don't think that you have, if you do go for a therapist, don't think that you have to stick to that one person. Because if it doesn't work out with that person, you can always switch it up. Don't think that you have to be stuck with that one person the whole time. And you can change it. Like, I love my therapist because we have the same mindset. She's into law of attraction. She loves spirituality. She's into affirmations. She, like, that's why me and her click so well, is because of the fact that we have that, like, we both are on the same level when it comes to that, and she's helping me in a lot of ways to get back to where I was before with that mindset of using the law of attraction and using my affirmations and meditating and trying to find better coping skills than being in my feelings, having anxiety, and eating my emotions. I think mine would be because of past abusive relationships. Yeah, see? And trauma isn't one of the reasons why, we always self-sabotage. I know that was one of my issues with my relationship with Leon and our marriage. Like when we first started dating, I don't know if you heard me talk about this, but I said it in the beginning that like I would push him away. Like I would do things to like push him away because I was self-sabotaging. I was afraid that the relationship wasn't going to work. It was never going to last, and I was scared. And then I was even more scared when I got pregnant because, I thought about my past relationship and the relationship that I was in before and how it ended, that I was afraid that the same situation was going to happen again. And so like and mind you, Leon's not abusive towards me at all, but I have been in relationships that were abusive. So I have trauma from that, and I also have trauma from my childhood because it was abusive then. So, it's small. Like I would say like take it one day at a time. Look for a therapist or somebody that will take your insurance, or even find, resources that do like a scaling system where like you can pay a certain amount based off of your income. And if you don't like it, you can go find somebody else, or you can tell the agency, hey, I'm not really comfortable with this therapist, I would like to try somebody else. And they have no choice but to do it, because if you don't, you're not going to go back. And the reason why I say try now is because there's such a big huge backlog when it comes to therapists and psychiatrists. It's hard to get into a lot of places because there's so many people seeking mental health. treatment, and it would be best if you call, like, start tomorrow morning. For it's Friday, first thing in the morning, get up, Google, search whatever you got to do, sit down, have your insurance card out and ready, or have your paperwork ready for your income, and just start making phone calls. And that's what I did. I had to do the same thing. And, it took a while for that to happen, but I eventually got into somewhere, and I was patient about it. And then when I finally got into the therapist, I ended up, having to wait for the psychiatrist after a couple of sessions after she recommended. So yeah, just jump on it right now. Start, Vanessa, get into it, because I think it could benefit you, especially if you've been in abusive relationships. You probably have PTSD. And it's probably something that's hard for you to get out of that flight or fright mode, because that's where I was. Even Leon said that, like, um, sometimes I would tense up around him, not realizing that all the memories that I had blocked away from my childhood was slowly coming back. Because and then I think I talk about this in a vlog on my other channel, but I'm gonna say it here. After I had a Zara, I had a seizure. I didn't really talk about it as much to a lot of people, but I did have a seizure, and I think having that seizure brought back a lot of my memories from my childhood. And after that, Leon was like, "You were just so distant. Like, you didn't even want, like, you basically was like, don't touch me, don't even look at me." Like, and I didn't realize, like, consciously I was doing that. I didn't realize I was doing that at all. Like, I just assumed that, like, things were just different in our relationship because we had another baby, and we're both going to school, and I'm trying to work, and he's trying to find a job, and all that stuff, not realizing that my PTSD was causing, for us to be kind of a distant from each other. Yes, I'm drinking Monster, but after this, I'm going to bed because my medicine will knock me out regardless if I'm drinking Monster or not. So, ooh, my throat. Woo. So, if anybody else has anything to ask or, discuss, it's an open floor, no judgment. We ain't doing no drama over here. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful, because, I'm trying to give y'all a different perspective from my life, and maybe help somebody else think in a different way, or if they need help, or they need, like, somebody to say it out loud and be like, you know what, she's right. Let me jump on that. So, yeah, let me give it a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to hop off of here and go to bed. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm still a perfectionist. Like, I got all these papers to do, and I'm still, like, I'm gonna redo them. It doesn't happen overnight. I just know that, like, it's a progress. It's something that you slowly have to get out of, and you have to make small goals to get over it, so you're not overwhelmed. Because that's how I was feeling at first. I was getting overwhelmed, and I was burning myself out. I was. And when you have burnout, I didn't know this until my therapist told me, but once you have burnout, it can take 3 to 7 years for you to get over that burnout. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that. And she's like, yeah, it's gonna take a while for you to get out of that mindset, and for you to not, like, focus on the negatives, and and focus more on the strengths of other people that is around you, instead of focusing on the things that you hate about that person. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to focus only on the positives and the good strengths, instead of the negatives and the bad things that I don't like. I bit my cheek today because I was so excited about something that happened, and it hurts. Oh, and make sure you guys go follow me on my new Instagram account. It's basically my first and last name on my Instagram account. Go follow. Make sure. And if you're new here and you just popped up in here, subscribe. Don't be scared. We don't bite over here. I mean, I only bite if you bite. But yeah, we're chill. We're chilled over here. We don't have no drama. It's just more about, you know, self development and, how to work through certain things. And shout out to my mentor, the Black Stay at Home Mom Show, who, like, she tells me about myself all the time. She be like, girls, cut it out. She don't play no games whatsoever when it comes to certain things in my life. And I'll call her and she be like, we're not doing that. And same thing with my therapist. Like, she calls me out all the time too. And I have friends who call me out on my shit. And then I have my friends and, my therapist and my mentor who, congratulate me and, uplift me when I need it. And that's one thing I will say is that you need to have a huge circle around you who will support you and when you need it. Not only just support you, but like hold you accountable and, have you self-reflecting and having you, think about certain things that you wouldn't normally think about so that way you could become a better person. And honestly, you have to be a better person in order to be a better parent, a better wife, a better friend, a better coworker, a better whatever. So if anybody has any questions or want to discuss anything else, it doesn't have to be about this topic. Like if you want to discuss something else, we can talk about it. Ain't no big deal. Oh, and I'm definitely an overthinker. Like that's something I do a lot is overthink things, and then when I read certain things, like certain books or everything or anything like, or I see something on like social media, and I'm like, yo, why am I overthinking this? Like I'm making it more than what it needs to be. It's really not that, and it don't even be that serious. Like it would just be like the smallest thing that I'm overthinking, and then once I like stop thinking, overthinking it, and use a different method, I'm good. I'm breaking out from something. That's why I keep scratching. Welcome if you're new. If you're coming in, definitely hit the like button. Make sure y'all are joining and subscribing. If you don't even know anything about me, that's cool. We can get to know each other. Woo. All right, then. So, since there's no other questions or conversations, I'm going to end the live here. I hope you guys have a great night or weekend because I won't be back in until Saturday. And Saturday, I mean, I think Sunday we're going to a baseball game, I think. And yeah, so I'll be back on Saturday for another live. And this time I will make sure to be on time at 9 o'clock instead of trying to do it super late. Like people ain't got jobs tomorrow. Like people ain't got to go to work tomorrow morning. So thank you guys for joining me. Thanks, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.